Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'd like to talk about the October roadmap and specifically one part of it, and that is this new group size by tonnage idea that is being put forward as a possible way to make the group matchmaker a little more liberated in terms of what it can do. No longer would it have to match specific weight classes. It would just say, okay, here's your weight, and then you can do any combination that you want. Now, I took those numbers and did my spreadsheet warrior, and here we can see them in Excel. These are the current numbers. Group size, I added in group size of 1 just to show it off, because when you're by yourself, you do have a min and max. You have a min of 20 for your locusts, and you have a max of 100 in your Alice and King Crabs and such. And we can go see the increasing group size with the increasing minimum and increasing maximum. But, you know, this is a cool idea. I really like it. But there's some things in it that are a little weird, in my opinion. The average minimum, if you just take the group size divided by the minimum, again, the average maximum, the group size divided by the maximum, it varies quite a lot. Like, it's just not consistent. It goes 20, 37.5, 40. Okay, it's always going up. That's fine. 50, but then it goes down to 44. And then down, then back up, then down again, keep doing down, and then back up again. So it makes this really weird, inconsistent line. And the same thing with the max. It just wiggles up and down. And you can see this is because these min differences, this is the min from the previous minus the min from the current minus the min from the previous. So basically how much it changed in the last step. So you can see we don't have anything for the first because there's nothing before it, but for all the other ones we can see how much it has increased since the last step up. And you can see it's a little strange, this 55, 45, 80, and then go 20, 40, 60, 80. It just has this weird pattern to it, while the max differences are just completely strange. Like, this difference between 495, between groups of 7 and 8, gain 35 tons on their max, while groups of 8 to 9 gain 100 tons. So you get an extra light or you get an extra assault. It's just a little strange. But when we map out the average minimums and the average maximums into a graph, it looks like so. And you can see it's a little wonky, it's a little wobbly. And my opinion is I don't really like this. I don't like having these bumps to it. I get the concept. We want to have more variation down here with the group size. Oh, group size along the bottom, tonnage along the vertical. Group size down here is lower, so therefore we want them to have a larger tonnage range that they can play with, so the smaller groups could have more tonnage. And as the group size get larger, we want to sort of tighten them in so that they're more consistent. But this wobbliness is what is annoying me. So if I press down here, we'll go to some, I have two options, two ideas. And this is variable changes, and you can set these how you wish. So this one, the min and the max are set from the previous plus the difference. So the difference is no longer being calculated mathematically. It's no longer being that. This is setting the change in the min and max based on this difference you put in. So you can change this around. If I wanted to change this to 35, I could put it in, and it changes all of the numbers for me. But what I've done here is for the smaller groups, the min difference slowly ramps up to 60, and the max difference slowly ramps down to 60. 5-ton increments going back a few here. You could change this however you wanted. Say I wanted to sort of push this back one, I could do 60 and then do the 55 there. So this would be 45, 50, 55. You know, you could just move this back if you wanted to. There we go. You just do whatever you want, and it changes all of the stuff. But the main reason I chose a lot of these numbers is it gets this average minimum, with the average middle, to be 60. And I think the 60 is a good number because that's what it is in Community Warfare. You have your 240-ton drop deck for 4 mechs, and that comes out at 60 tons per mech. So I think people would be used to that if that was the average across all of the players. Like you can see, for the average player, for a single, 20 to 100 is the average of 60. These numbers are a little off the average minimum of 32.5 and stuff like that, but this would be good. So if we look at the current, it's a little wobbly, but if you look at this new variable one that I just showed you, you can see that it's a lot straighter. It's a lot, looks like a better graph. So you can see the difference. It tightens up a bit more when you get into the higher levels, and it gives that sort of 2-man and 3-man a little bit more wiggle room for them to do what they want. Now, say you want to do this, but maybe you don't want to sort of design your own numbers here, and you just want it to be an equal distribution from the first person to the last person, and you just want to sort of specify what these two numbers here at the bottom, the 12-man max, and what they would be. We go down here into even changes, and these are, in this beautiful formula, the first one, the one before you, plus the last minus the first, so it's basically the change overall, divided by 11, and that gives you each step as it goes up. So then the change is based on the first number and the last number. So you can change these last numbers to anything. So say I change this, instead of what I have it as now, which is just a real even, adds 60 per step, I could change this to 800, and then, whoop, it moved around on me. Come on. There we go. And then you can see the differences for the max is like 63.6 instead of just being 60. So you can see how everything changes that little bit. So there's the two ways I've been looking at it. So set that back to 760. This is just a real simple one. It's adding 60 for every pilot, and it gets towards the mean a little bit more aggressively than the other versions. So if you see the average max at this one is 63 and the average min is 56, we go back up to here, the average min is lower, the average max is higher. So the same thing here, average min is lower, average max is higher. Basically, this trends towards the average of 60 a little more aggressively. So we go their current, the variable one from before, and this more aggressive version. And I just think you could choose any one of these that you want, whether it be this sort of less aggressive or the more aggressive, but definitely get rid of this wobbliness, get rid of this inconsistency with having these min and max differences just being seemingly random. There may be thoughts behind it. There is this sort of pattern occurring here with the 20, 40, 60, 80, but it would be good to hear some explanation as to why these numbers were chosen, as opposed to having a sort of predetermined set like this or having a even set like this. As to other thoughts about this possible choice, I think it would be great, but there's that one caveat, as a lot of people have brought up, is if you completely remove weight classes from this, you're going to end up with people running nothing but certain mech spam, and that could be, like under this system, you could have at any point just Hellbringer spam, just 12 Hellbringers or something along those lines. And in an organized group with 12 Hellbringers, they're all going to be moving at the same speed. They're all going to have the same sort of damage profile. They're all going to have that similar thing. It would be 12 ECMs. I think that could be a very big problem if they don't address it. I think that they should definitely keep the 3333 rule just to stop those kind of things from occurring, but then add in this tonnage system. Then when their matchmaker goes to put a match together, it could just ignore what chassis they have in terms of the 3333, but then could just look at the tonnage weights. So if you took a bunch of heavies, you're going to have to take lights as well. So then when you look at somebody else, it's either going to, it'll be an even tonnage on each team. It may be a little bit variable of what they have, but definitely I think this would be a good move forward. Anyway, those are my ideas on the matchmaking weight stuff. Just even these out somehow, whether it be predetermined but seemingly having a pattern to them, or just even across the board. Thank you for watching, and good hunting.